All right, guys, so giving you a little update on the wind turbine today.
Yep, because lots of you have asked, and it's been a little over a year since we've installed it.
But also, guys, in a future video, we're going to show you, we picked up a different wind turbine because we're kind of excited to try something different. Yep. This wind turbine from EcoWorthy works great, but it's a horizontal, it's vertical, but it's got like a fan blade style. We got a vertical wind turbine. It's one of the cheap $100 ones that is more shaped like a globe, and it's going to spin when the wind comes from all directions. I don't know where we're putting it yet, but that's going to be in a future video, so keep an eye out keep an eye out for that.
Yep, we'll do comparisons.
Yeah.
So you guys can see maybe which one, if you are looking for a turbine, which one's better for you.
Yep. So check it. Just peek at that for 2 seconds. So like I said, the EcoWorthy one is a fan style one, like the ones you see everywhere else. This is called a vertical axis. So you get a bunch of these fan blades, and it basically makes like a basketball or a globe shape. And then the wind could come from any direction, and the whole thing will spin like a globe. I don't know what the output on it. It says it's a 600 watt wind turbine. It has the same... What? Oh, sunshine? Yeah.
Sorry.
That's what we've come to in January.
Gotta stop and really enjoy the moment. Anyways, we're going to test that one out. I think he should test it out in the same exact spot to give like a fair, accurate comparison for everybody. Because if he doesn't put it in the same spot, it wouldn't be an equal comparison.
Right. It has the same mounting hardware, so the only thing I have to do is put a different wire on it. We'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But that'll be in a future video.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Today we're going to test out our wind turbine over the next week or two in this video. So, and let's go throw this old battery. This is my trolling motor battery for my boat. I want to trickle charge it anyway, so let's see if we can put some juice in it for free.
Win-win.
Yep.
It's supposed to be kind of snowy and blowy and windy, so we'll see if we get any wind. It actually hasn't been windy for like 2 days, so just really cold.
We were going to do this a couple days ago, and literally as soon as we said we're going to go put a battery on that,
it hasn't been windy.
There's a little gust right there,
yeah,
actually.
It's
coming from the northwest like it always does, and then we have these trees blocking it. So
yeah.
I got like 10 little projects I want to do. This is one of them. All right, let's turn this on. What's going on? Negative, positive. That's not good. So that's tripping. I'm going to try to turn it on. Let's take this off and see if it's actually a problem or if it's just a bad... Oh, see? There is a problem. Might be a problem with this. This was flickering a bunch because it was running with no battery on it. Alright, so there's a problem. The breaker's tripping as soon as I turn on the breaker. I don't know why. There's a problem with this charge controller, maybe. That sucks.
All right, 2026, new year, new you, right? And one of the ways that Jay and I are trying to take care of ourselves this year is by taking our ritual vitamins. We have here the Essential for Women and Men 18 Plus. 2 a day, helps fill in any key nutrients that we might miss in our diet. I really like the fresh minty taste that these vitamins have, so you don't have that yucky vitamin taste you might have with a different vitamin. These vitamins also have a clean formula with high quality key nutrients in bioavailable forms. Ritual vitamins are made traceable, meaning they share where the ingredients come from and why they're theirs. Ritual Essential for men and women 18 and over is clinically backed. It's a clean, high quality multivitamin available for men and women 18 to 49 to help fill in nutrient gaps in diet. It is USP verified, third-party quality certification that sets one of the highest bars for product transparency. Less than 1% of multivitamins have earned this mark. Ritual also sent us this Magnesium Plus berry flavored drink mix, and this helps your mind and muscles relax. This Magnesium Plus is made for men and women of any age, and even pregnant women can take it. It helps ease mental fatigue and clinically studied to help support quality sleep. I really like the nice tart cherry flavor. If you're looking for a great multivitamin or a magnesium drink, check out Ritual. Save 25% off your first order by using the link and discount code below. Thanks Ritual for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back to the build.
Alright, let me fiddle with it here, figure it out. Alright guys, so I guess my charge controller for the eco-worthy wind turbine is bad. Something must be shorted out in there. I left this hooked up to the wind turbine with no battery. So maybe just the flickering of the fan going on and off and having nowhere to take that power. I mean, it had the resonator or the resistor or whatever it's called to push off heat. But maybe this didn't like the inconsistent power with no battery to put it into. So I put the charge controller for the other wind turbine on here. I don't know if that's smart. Probably not. But I put the positive and negative through this breaker, and then I just hooked. These are all the same color. It's all the same color coming out of the wind turbine. This is just the different colors because it's the wire that eco-worthy sent with it. So 3 yellows here. It was 3 reds up at the wind turbine connected to this. So for some reason it doesn't matter which wire's which. I don't know why. Anyway, let's turn this on and see if it trips or see if something bad happens. Let me check the voltage of this battery because this battery's been sitting a while. I did hook it up to the charger for a little bit, like a couple weeks ago. Just while I had the little generator running. 12.04. So that means it's pretty tired. But let's see what happens if I turn it on. Oop. The little green light came on. Little green light came on. So positive and negative up to here. No light. Turn it on. Light comes on. There's a little red indicator light too right next to it. This other wind turbine we bought had 0 names on anything, 0 directions, 0. There's no numbers on even this little charge controller thing. I think this is just like the cheapest charge controller you could buy, and hopefully it should work with this wind turbine. There should be no difference between this wind turbine and that other one other than the design of it. The voltages should be the same, like similar. It's still just like a little alternator generator in there. So anyway, that's a green. All we need now is a little gust of wind to come by and see if this goes poof. Best we could do is monitor this for sure once the wind blows. And then I'll leave the voltmeter here so I could test it if we get some steady wind. We have a couple mile-an-hour wind you can see on the flag over there. What you looking at?
The weather to see when it's going to be windy.
So Jed's checking the weather. So there's the flag. I mean, it's barely blowing and out of a bad direction for us because we have trees over here. So we have trees from that direction blocking the wind turbine. Anyway, we'll see if maybe Anyway, let's see. Maybe we'll open this up and see if there's like a burnt relay on it. Just for fun. Not
take
today.
It inside so you can work on it inside.
Yeah, that's something fun I can fiddle with inside in the warmth.
Because it's not nice outside.
Yeah. So at least the green light came on. That's good. I mean,
well, maybe it'll charge
maybe
that
it'll
battery.
Charge it up. Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know. You know, that one had a dump. Like that has no way to hook up this little, like I said, resistor or resonator, whatever it's called. I can't remember.
Well,
to dump power. So maybe I'll never be able to fix that, but at least I can see what's wrong with it. Maybe I could fix it. I mean, I can solder stuff now. I soldered a few things. But if it blew up a relay, it don't matter.
Well, we'll check.
Yeah. All right. Let's go do something else. And if the wind blows, let's go. Yeah, if the wind blows, we'll run back over here.
Give you an update on this in a day or two, guys.
Yeah, or a week or two, whatever
happens.
Yeah, if the wind blows, we'll have something to tell you. So, all right. Hey guys, a little update for our wind turbine. You guys saw me hook up a battery, a new 12-volt lead-acid battery to this. It's been about a week, and this hasn't really moved a lot, but it's been cooking just a little bit here the last day. You know, moving and working. A little bit of wind. We've had some warm and cold temperatures fluctuating, so it's been moving a little bit the last couple days. So I want to see what the battery status is on our battery that we put in here. We're not using this battery for anything right now. This is simply for experimenting. So we got our little green lights on because the battery's on, and I got the red light lit up now too, so that's showing, it's blinking in the camera. It's not actually blinking. This is just a flooded lead acid battery that I had on our trolling motor for our fishing boat, our little rowboat. It was at 12.03 volts when we hooked it up. It's been on here for about a week. Oh, 13.15, and it dropped down to 12.9. That's actually working. Holy moly. So, $12.8 must not be spin, but that's not just because it's charging. That's actually charged up over the last couple days. 12.8. Cool. I think I burned the charge controller up for the eco-worthy unit because I didn't have a battery hooked to it. You're supposed to hook a battery to it first. I took the battery off and then forgot to disconnect the wind turbine from the charge controller. I have it hooked up to this really cheap little charge controller now that came with the new wind turbine that we're going to experiment with. The only problem with this is I can't tell wattage, voltage, you know, any kind of power that's coming out of this. I can't regulate it or gauge it. Also, it doesn't hook up to our little resistor here to dump extra power into. So I don't know what's going to happen to this battery if it gets full. I don't know if it's going to overcharge it. So I'm going to have to do a little research, guys. Let me know what I need to do here. Obviously, these come with lots of wind turbines, so do they cut off when they don't need power anymore, or am I going to fry my battery? What's going on? What's going to happen? You know, batteries sitting all winter is not good for them. I can't charge a lithium iron phosphate battery over here because this shed isn't heated, and you know the BMS in it will not allow the battery to charge in cold temperature. Is cold, you know, cold temperature cutoff, and it's cold. It's like 20 degrees right now. But yeah, so we're not charging anymore. The red light went off. The battery, the wind turbine's not spinning. So the reason I am experimenting with a different, or we're going to experiment with a different wind turbine, is because up here on top of the hill, it seems that the wind changes direction a lot. We don't have like a dead steady wind coming straight from the west or straight from a direction and it just keeps pounding it. the, because we're up on the ridge here, I don't know if that's why, but whatever the reason is, the wind will come from the dead west, and then it'll like twist and go from the, we have alternating wind directions. And what it does is, you'll see if you look up here, this was just cooking, and we have a good spin, we have a good wind right now, but this turbine catches the wind weird, the tail does, and then it just spins the turbine around, and then it takes a lot of power to get it turned in the right direction again and get moving again. A couple people said, hey, your turbine's not plumb, but it was plumb when I installed it. The tree's not plumb, but I put some shims on there to make it plumb, the pole plumb. So when we get back up there, we try to swap the new wind turbine in there. I will make sure, double check it's plumb. It's because the wind comes from a different direction. It just like swoops in from a different direction, flips it around, and then we lose our momentum. So anyway, it charged. Obviously, it ran good for a little while. This new turbine that we bought is a really cheap $100 turbine. This is a little bit nicer turbine from EcoWorthy. The one I bought secondhand. Is like, I bought it for 80 bucks, and it's plastic, and it's got a different shape. It's a vertical axis, very lightweight, so I think it'll blow very easily in the wind. And even when the wind changes directions, it won't interfere. It'll just keep pushing it. So we'll work on that shortly. But that battery's charged up a little bit, so that's good. The battery went from 12 volts up to 12.8.
That's good.
So, all right, puppies are ready for dinner.
Yep, and our dinner.
And our dinner. So we'll catch you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, good morning. I showed you the wind turbine battery last night. It was hovering around 13 volts with no load going into it, without the wind turbine spinning. The wind turbine pretty much spun all night long, and it's still spinning. We're getting these nice, steady 15 mile per hour winds. So I'm going to check the voltage on it real quick, and we'll update you here. We're going to probably mess around with our other wind turbine a little bit today. I'm considering, instead of taking this one down, just mounting that one somewhere else. Maybe mount it to the, down here over to by the greenhouse or something. Just to have multiple sources of 12 volt charging power. Taking this one down would give us a good comparison to which one works better. But with this new charge controller, I'm not really able to monitor or meter the amount of voltage that's coming into it, or the amount of watts. When we had this system set up before, we never had more than 50 watts coming into it. So I'm assuming it's about the same with this situation. The only problem is I only got one charge controller now. So, but everything takes a few days, so we can hook up, assemble the other wind turbine and maybe get it mounted in a place later in this video or next video, we'll see, and have it charging a power source maybe for the greenhouse. Maybe we'll just run a simple 12 volt system in the greenhouse just for lights, just keep it simple. But we just like to have backups to backups. It's fun to mess around with this stuff. So let's see what the voltage on this battery is real quick. 13.9. 14 volts. 14.1. So my big concern is burning this battery up. Let me turn this switch off. And see what the voltage is, because I'm isolating the battery. Ooh, that puppy's burning now, huh? Holy cannoli.
Holy cow, it's going so fast right now.
13.68. Watch this, is it still going?
Yeah. It picks up a little when you turn it off.
Because look at that. Holy crap, you can hear it.
Yeah.
That's probably not safe. Yeah, it's funny till it explodes.
Why would that explode?
From no braking. We're right in the path here. Oh, we just learned something. Yeah, you can hear it soon as I activate the power. So guys, with no load or with the battery turned off, that thing spins like 100 miles an hour. You could probably hear it. Yeah. So we want to keep a load on that. This is not the proper charge controller for this, so might be asking for trouble. 14.1, 14.2, 13.8. So this battery in theory is charged. We could put an inverter on this and run stuff on it. I don't know what to do with this battery. I don't think it'll overcharge it. I hope it won't overcharge it. This doesn't have a battery management system in it like a newer battery.
Yeah.
So it can't cut the voltage off when it reaches voltage. I could grab the battery out from underneath the house that we're not using and try charging that. But anyway, alright guys, so we'll update you. We got good voltage coming out of this. Hopefully I don't burn up this battery or catch anything on fire. I have a breaker, so it's a 25 amp breaker though. I don't have a fuse on anything. The breaker could protect the battery, I guess, if it were to overheat or put too many amps. It's not gonna put too many amps, just the battery's gonna fry out.
It's a lead acid battery?
Yeah.
It says for lead acid battery, a healthy voltage is typically 13.7 to 14.7 volts. Anything consistently higher can indicate a problem.
Yeah. Okay. I thought when they're at a dead, when they're with no load on them or no charge, I thought they were 13.1. But 13.7, we're still within that then. I mean, it's good for this battery to charge. That's why I have it hooked up. But I don't want it to overcharge. And boil, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, let's not work on this right now. We're going to go work on something else. All right, guys, we'll catch up with you in a little bit. Woo! Hey, guys. It is freezing outside. Absolutely freezing. It is like 0 degrees, I think, out. Maybe it's like 8 or 9, but it's really windy. And that's why we're doing this little add-on to the end of this video, because it's been windy a lot for the last couple weeks. So earlier in this video, you guys saw me hook up my trolling motor battery from my fishing boat. I wanted to just put a good charge on that so it didn't die and sit empty all winter. But now, yeah, look what we're contending with here. Yeah. So, but that battery is fully charged, and the wind turbine's starting to spin. That battery is at like 14 to 15 volts, and it's full. So I'm gonna pull it off of there. We're gonna put a new battery on here. We got one of these old AGMs that we had for our old solar system. We're gonna put that on there, let that charge, and then we're gonna put an inverter on there, and we're gonna start charging some stuff with it. We're gonna use it for charging, I think, all of our power tool batteries. We're gonna make like a little solar charging hub for all our batteries in there, and that way we don't have to use a power station or use additional power from our big system. Just something fun to mess around with, show you guys what stuff's capable of. The wind turbine is, producing power over there. If you can see it spinning. Where's it at? Over there. Somewhere like right there. So it's spinning, so it's producing power. I might as well use it for something. So let's get over there, put one of our inverters. We have all these extra inverters, 12-volt inverters. We have really crappy 12-volt inverter that I was given. Not crappy, but like an old modified sine wave inverter for like someone gave me, a friend gave me. And then I have a 24-volt, and then I have a 12-volt. So I got to get the right one. Let me find it. All right, there we go. There's our 12-volt one, 2,000 watts. All right, we'll check the voltage on this battery. It's been sitting for like a year or more with nothing on it, and I don't even know what the status of it was before we put it away. So hopefully it's not trashed. Here's our 12-volt, 2,000 watt Gandel. We're gonna see if we can power some stuff just for giggles. So let's go do this real quick. Jenny can carry that and the tools. I'll carry this big heavy battery. So guys, before this, we were running the water for our cabin on a 12-volt pump that was hooked to a battery in the solar shed, and it was being charged with the wind turbine, right? But since we took all of our stuff out of the solar shed and put it in the solar bunker, we moved everything out of the solar shed. So now the battery to run our water in our cabin is underneath the cabin, and it's currently shut down for the winter, so we're not using it anyway. So we would probably use that nice lithium iron phosphate battery. It's a nice big 12-volt, 300 amp hour battery, but it's lithium iron phosphate and it's cold. So it wouldn't charge, so it would just sit there idle. The BMS would shut it down. So we're just going to use this old AGM and try to save it from being total junk. So anyway, let's get going. Let's get over there and do this before we all freeze to death. All right, so just to recap real quick what the voltage is that wind turbine spinning?
A little bit right
Not
now.
enough to produce power, just moving barely.
Yeah.
So 13.85 volts. That is a very healthy battery for not having any load on it. So let's take it off of this system. We're going to turn the battery switch off. Healthy, been on a charge, other than being cold. No complaints from this battery.
This was just the boat battery?
This is the boat battery, which needed a good charge anyway, because I didn't charge it all summer. We used it a few times, and it held a charge. So, let's get this battery out of here. Alright.
Moving good now up there.
Turbine is?
Uh-huh.
It's got no power on it, so it's got no brake. Remember?
Yeah. So you gotta test this battery first.
Yeah, let's see what the voltage is. .4.
Is that pretty low?
That's that's like, I don't know, probably 60%.
That's pretty good
So
for
that's
not having
good.
touched it for
Yes.
2 years.
Yeah, that means the battery isn't junk. So we need the inverter as well.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna we can put them both on these terminals.
Okay. And then we can plug stuff into this, right? Like you could charge a power station with this, or charge some tools and use some of this power up. And then you'd be able to see that while the wind turbine might not run a full cabin like ours, it could run some small stuff like this.
Yeah.
which is cool. That's just kind of like bonus power.
Yep. And a lot of people ask about charging. A lot of people ask about charging power stations with wind turbines. For some reason, and I can't explain it, probably because the power is so inconsistent with a wind turbine, it can't charge a power station. It'll take a power station will take solar panels, but you can't put a wind turbine directly through an XT60 plug right into a power station, because power station charge controllers are made to work with solar.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly why the power is different.
The inconsistency could make sense.
Yeah. Like right now, it's running for a second, turning off. I'm assuming just the charge controller in the power stations cannot handle something about it. I don't know exactly what, to be honest.
So you just got to connect both these reds to the same, and then.
Yep.
Then we'll have power in here, which is kind of cool. We can charge up a power station, kind of. Try it out.
Yep.
I'll check them here in a second. I'll put you on a tripod and check them.
And figure out how to. All right, there we go, guys. All right, so we got the inverter connected directly to the battery. We should probably have some kind of fuse on here. I don't have anything. I think I can hook up to this pretty quickly. Gave away a few of my things because I wasn't planning on using this. I might have something. I can go look for something and we could add it if we need to. But right now, everything's on except for we need to turn the switch on. So now the wind turbine is powering through the charge controller, this little black box here, and feeding the battery. Is it still turning?
It's turning a little, not as fast as it was a few minutes ago.
Yeah. So what we're learning, and I knew these wind turbines had a braking system in them. I think that's what actually generates the power, just like a hybrid car, if I'm thinking of that right or have the right impression of it. So when there's no load to it, it spins really easy and freely. But as soon as we turn the power on, the braking system slows it down. Because that's how it generates the power, I assume. So anyway, we have power either way to this because the battery's on. Battery's connected, so there we go. So as soon as we put a load on that battery, it starts sucking it down. I'm not sure how much this inverter pulls. So I'm not sure exactly how much this 12 volt, 2000 watt inverter pulls or uses in idle consumption. But it can't be that much. These are pretty efficient systems, simple systems. Okay, so now that we have a load on that battery, it's at 11.9. The load is the inverter. Even though it's not pulling anything, it's still using a little bit of power. The 24 volt inverter we had was 3,000 watts. That's what we ran on forever. It seemed like that was very efficient. This, anything 12 volts a little less efficient, but it's not a big inverter. So 11.91 volts. We will turn this inverter off right now until we hook up something to it in a few minutes, or after that wind turbine runs for a little bit. We want that wind turbine to spin and put a little charge into this battery before we just start drawing off of it instantly. So give us a little bit of time here. We'll catch up with you in a few minutes. All right, guys, it's only been a couple hours that the wind turbine's been on that new battery, but we're going to go check the voltage. It's been very windy.
It's been wicked windy.
Yeah, you can see the flag back there going nuts. But the wind turbine, it's kind of coming from a weird direction, so the wind turbine's not like whipping, but it's been going off and on. Because it's been switching different directions. So we're gonna hook up all our power tool batteries, but we want to power up and charge this power station. It's at 43%. Jen uses this to charge all of her bird feed cameras for her bird feeders, and we use it for our phones and the dog's collars. So let's just go try that out. We're gonna put it in the solar shed for a couple hours, see if it'll suck out some power out of that battery.
Some stuff and charge it up.
Yeah, so let's go see if it's gone up at all. It was originally at like 12.6, sorry. 12.6 volts. And then once we turned the inverter on, it went down to like 11.9. But it's been charging for a while, so let's see what we can do.
It's been a couple hours.
You want to go inside, puppies? The dogs are already ready to come in. At 2 minutes. With 2 minutes that they were out here while we were getting everything prepped. It's miserable out.
Yeah, it's not nice.
It's like completely miserable out.
Arctic blast and a blizzard all at once. It's so much fun. Highly recommend it.
It's 8 degrees out now, and the wind chill, you said, what was like -6?
Yeah.
So it's not... Yeah, the wind turbine's going again. It's not fun to be out here, so we're just going to mess around for a few minutes here and there. Got our AC cord to go. That's the most common cord that goes to most power stations, so we can charge it with AC power. Again, we can't charge it directly with DC power. Go ahead and throw that in there. Alright, you hide in there and you test the voltage and stuff. Go ahead and hide in there and stay warm.
I don't know how to do it all.
You'll figure it out. That's why I'm having you do stuff more. So, turn that on to the little gray setting on the right.
That's 10 amps?
Nope, on the right. Turn to the right, down to 20.
Okay.
What that's going to do is make it so you can read voltage anything under 20 volts. See how it says DC on the left side? It says DC power. So put that on the red and the black and see what the voltage is.
That says 13.25.
13.25. So that's good.
That means it's gone up, right?
Yeah, we do actively have the wind turbine moving. It's supposed to be windy and crappy all night. So it should run all night. So let's see. We have this power station set to eco mode or slow charging. So it's only going to draw 400 watts off of this battery. So let's just charge it up.
Yeah.
Turn the inverter on. There's the power button right underneath. Just hold it for like a second. Okay. Started at 13.2. You can't see it on this. Oh yeah, now you can for some reason. It's like synced properly. It wasn't synced earlier. 12.8. So it went from 13.2 to 12.8. Go ahead and plug that into the back of this power station first. Or the side, wherever it plugs in. Doesn't like that for some reason, huh? Is that the inverter, or is that...
Yeah, it's this making noise. This is showing it's got stuff going in, though.
Hey, unplug it one time. Alright. Go ahead and plug it back in. Maybe it's just cold. There you go. So that's done nothing but sit.
Now this one doesn't have anything coming into it this time. In case
it might just be taking the... Yeah, try the other plug, but it might just be taking the voltage down too low because it's pulling. It's like struggling for some reason. Maybe the voltage is too low.
Coming from that?
Maybe the battery's just not charged up enough.
Okay.
Go ahead and unplug it. Yeah, if the voltage is too low, maybe that inverter will not work. What was that? You just hit me
I
over
just
there?
hit that on accident. So.
Alright, so maybe we will have to let this run all night. Charge that battery up. Like, it might be, half frozen too, because it's been sitting for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So the charge will, thaw it out. And then we'll charge this power station.
Try it again in the morning?
Yeah, let's try it again in the morning.
Okay.
So.
Turn this off?
Yep.
Take the power station inside so it don't get cold.
Yep.
Oh.
Alright guys, we'll revisit this. Give us either till morning or later tonight. We'll see how that does. I want to check the voltage on our wind turbines going. So guys, we put this battery in here last night or yesterday. There is a lot of snow. Look at this. I'm going down into my shed, and my shed is like 1.5 feet off the ground. My old solar shed. Maybe let's see what we got going on here. Oh, Jenny left the tester on. Shouldn't have trusted her. Alright, somehow this battery went from low to very high. It said 17 volts, which is not good. I'm going to turn that off for a few minutes. Now you can hear that puppy ripping. There we go. Something happened. Something was high. As soon as I turned the wind turbine off, you can hear it whipping because there's no brake on it anymore. This is the wrong charge controller, so it obviously has something to do with it. This battery was also, it said 17 volts, and then this came on high. Let's turn it back on. That slows it down. Let's put it to work. Let's put that battery and wind turbine to work, and maybe it'll warm up a little bit. Alright, so this power station's at 28%. Alright, so the power station's at 28%. Let's go charge it. It's cold out there in that shed, so this should charge for a while. It should actively charge without freezing. Let's hopefully the wind keeps going, I guess, for the day and charging everything up. Suck some juice out of that battery. The voltage, as soon as I turn the wind turbine off, the voltage dropped from, it said 17 volts all the way down to 12. So what my impression is that battery's frozen. But if there's juice going through it and pulling from it, it should thaw out. I don't know. We got nothing to lose. Let's just try it. I don't know if that's an indicator of a frozen battery, but you got 2 seconds or you frozen here?
Yeah, fine. So you might have to switch the battery, is what you're saying?
No, if we actively use this, I mean...
But will it keep making an alarm? Oh,
maybe
it's taking
something's
stuff
wrong.
now.
Yeah, maybe something's wrong with that. Maybe that just needs to run. Maybe it's frozen. Alright, of course, while the wind turbine's going. I don't know why that inverter's making so much noise, maybe just because it's sitting. But it's charging. Got 400, drops it down to 11.3, which is not good. So maybe that battery is toast. And that battery's dead. Or just needs a better charge on it. But you can't let it sit at 17 volts. So let's just leave this on. Can't hurt anything. 11.3, 400. You can go do your thing, honey. 440 watts going into this. This is on optimized or slow charge. So it's putting 400 watts into it. Right there on the lower left. I know this doesn't have the best focus, but lower left. And it's charging. So let's let this suck some juice today. Maybe everything out here will heat up just by being used. Doubt it. No sign of a warm up on the... It's actually supposed to be 20 tomorrow, but then instantly drop back down again. So anyway, I'm gonna go check the bunker. Alright guys, we're gonna do a little wrap up here of this wind turbine video. The wind turbine's been cooking pretty good for a few days on this new battery I swapped out. Again, at the beginning of this video, you saw the trolling motor battery that we were using. That charged up. I had that on there for like a week or two. It charged up, kept it safe, and now it's full. We swapped this system. Bear with me with the weather. We swapped this old AGM in there. It was going high voltage at first. Like 17 volts. I think maybe it was frozen and that's why it wasn't working right. It's been really cold. It's been like 0 to 10 degrees here for weeks. You know, for a week or two now. But I tried to hook this up to the... I tried to hook this up kind of prematurely. I only had this in here for like a day and maybe 1 day of wind on it. And it wouldn't charge the power station because it was close to being dead. So even now, after a few days, this is still, when it was sitting on idle with no load on it, it was at 13.8. And now that I turned this on like an hour ago and hooked up our bat charger for our blower, so we can blow off the solar array, it dropped down to 12.3. So here's our end results here. We're going to, in a different video, mess with that other wind turbine, but here's the end results with this video today. You know, this would be perfect for something like this. Charging our power tools and lights. This is not going to power a refrigerator and lights and computers. This is not going to power a cabin like ours or even a simple cabin that has no, that has refrigeration and you watch TV and stuff like that. It will do lights. It will charge some devices, small devices like this. Maybe charge your phones. Maybe run your laptops, charge your laptops. But it's not going to run TV. Like a lot of people have a TV in their cabin. But we don't have a full TV. We don't watch it very often. And like I said, lights, charging phones. Maybe you could run a small DC refrigerator, you know, if you did DC rather than AC, so you don't have the conversion rate and the idle consumption of the inverter. But yeah, this would work for a weekend place you go to once or twice a month for a weekend, and you would run lights, charge your phones, and maybe your power tools so you can build around your mini cabin or your cabin or property. So just something to think about. Again, not going to run a full-time cabin like ours with higher draw. Unless you got a bigger, more robust, and higher wattage wind turbine. And then again, you're still dependent on the wind, just like you are the sun. But there tends to be more sun than wind. It tends to be more predictable. So anyway, guys, we thank you for hanging out with us during this wind turbine video. Again, just using it for what it is. We could charge some power tool batteries. We can get a little bit of juice out of it and make something out of nothing, which is still a cool thing. So anyway, we're going to hook up that other wind turbine. I found a spot for it. We're going to put it over here by my sugar shack and by the greenhouse. We're going to hook it up over there so I have some power in the greenhouse and in the sugar shack full time, and then we don't have to tie into our full big time system for the cabin. I just like redundancy. I like it. So, and if you haven't gotten the idea yet, solar is not that difficult, so that's why we keep doing it. If it can work and we can hook up all these little mini systems, that's a good thing. So appreciate you guys hanging out with us during this video. I hope you learned a little bit or what the wind turbines are capable of, and we hope to see you guys in the next video. So subscribe, give us a like if you had a good time hanging out with us. All right? Appreciate you.